Om Shanti. The topic that I chose today for all of us is to think happy, to think positive, to think good, to think something that is beneficial. You know that we are in a world full of uncertainty, chaos, and peacelessness. But we can create a heaven within the self. I repeat, we can create a heaven within the self. The outer world can be hell, but we can have heaven within us. How can we do that? We can cultivate love within ourselves. Cultivate means help something to emerge, to grow, and to blossom. So we cultivate love within the self. We cultivate gratitude within the self. We cultivate peace within the self. And when the self is full with love, gratitude, peace, we can spread the love, the gratitude, and the peace to all others through our minds, through our voice, through our actions, and through our relationships. So the important thing is to begin with the self. So I learned to cultivate love and peace in my mind, gratitude and purity in my mind. That has to appear on my mind. That has to emerge in my mind. That has to become a reality in my mind. This will take some time, but what we can do is we can give ourselves time to create that love, that gratitude, and that peace by reminding ourselves, I am peace, I am gratitude, I am love, I can be that, I am that, I am peace, I am gratitude, I am love. So this takes a while to become a reality within the self, but we can do it. Thousands have done it, and all of us can do it. So the first thing to be happy is to cultivate within the mind and the intellect a garden of love, gratitude, and peace. Why did I choose all these three today? We need love. Love is nurturing. Love helps us to be safe. Love helps us to grow. Gratitude. Instead of looking at the world outside, there are so many things that we can be grateful for. We have a shelter, we have food, we have education, we do some job, we do some activity to keep the self blessed. Gratitude to everything and to God. And peace. Peace is my religion. Peace is my home. Peace is my true self. So I go back to my true self. So the first thing that I can learn to do within myself is to cultivate all these virtues within myself. Never get disappointed if suddenly out of the blue you become disheartened, You become a little angry or you become hopeless. No, get up again. Give yourself that love. Give yourself that boost and say, I am love. I am gratitude. I am peace. So never fall down. But if you do, get up again. There is no one in this world who has succeeded from the beginning. After falling 1,000 times, they can get up and still be the number one, the winner, the champion, the great. So always give yourself this energy boost. I can do it. So always be happy because we are born to be happy. We are born to enjoy life. We are born to experience ourselves as human beings in a beautiful world. Very unfortunately, the world around us is not that beautiful, but we can come together as one family, and we can help to make that change, that not so beautiful world into heaven once again. You and I, we are family. We are one. Together, we can make hell into heaven. The next thing to be happy is to see what we can give and not what we can take. Today's outer world is a greedy world. The only thing that is in everyone's mind is to take, take, take. I. But what should we do? What should we practice? We practice to give, give, give. Giving is not only money. Giving is giving loving thoughts, blessings, forgiving, for becoming one, uniting, for being together, for giving, for getting, and coming back together as one whole. So giving can be in the mind, giving can be in words where we say, forgive me, I'm sorry. Words can also be like, come, let's work together. Come, let's do this together. Come, let's get together again. Words. And we can also do it with action, working together as a team, working together as a family, working together to create something better and beneficial. So we can also we can also give by creating relationships. We make salty relationships into sweet ones. We create bitter relationships into friendly ones. So giving can be in so many ways: thoughts, words, actions, and relationships. Giving can be through the mind, through words, through actions, and through participating in projects. So what did we hear so far? Number one, create heaven within the self. And number two, give. Why give? Because those who give are given a very special name. Those who constantly give are given the name Devata. The ones who give, not the ones who take. And the ones who give are the ones who get. I repeat, the ones who give are the ones who get. So we learn to give and give selflessly. There is a story about this giving, giving, giving. There were two groups of people. In each group, there were about 30 odd persons, and they were all, each of them in both the groups, were given the same amount of money. So everyone in both the groups were given a same amount of money, and they were asked to go and do shopping in a shopping mall. The first group was asked to buy anything that they liked for themselves. And the second group were asked to buy anything for their family. And they were given a certain amount of time. So both these groups went to the shopping mall. The first group went to buy things for themselves, whatever they needed. And the second group bought things for their family. So after they came back and they were asked who was the happier group, the one that bought things for themselves or the ones who bought things for the family? What do you think? Definitely group two. Their level of happiness, their level of zeal and enthusiasm, their level of feeling great was far much more than the ones who bought things for themselves. Of course, both the groups were happy, but who was happier? The ones that give. And so, what did we learn from this small test? When we give, we are happy. When we give, we get blessings. When we give, we get the return of that multifold if we give selflessly, lovingly. So, what is the thing that we should bear in mind? Give, give, give. Be a Devi, Devaki, Devata. So, create heaven within the self and then start sharing, giving. The next thing that I would like to share with you, to be always happy. What can we do to be always happy? If we do any kind of project, any kind of work for others, for God, for the people, for the society, for the country, for the village, for the town, for a group of people, if we have a project for someone else and we are doing it for them without any expectations, no expectations for name, fame, praise. If we do any project for outside people without any selfish motive, that project will become a reality easily, because nature, the law of the land, works to promote positivity. So if we are truly sincere, the land, the earth, the sky, the world will cooperate to make that project successful. God will cooperate. People's living attitude will cooperate. So when we give selflessly, we get tons of blessings and tons of thanksgiving. So thanksgiving is not just for one day, it is an ongoing thing. So can I work for others, for people, for the country, for my village, for my town, for the good of the people? Can I work with others to create a better world? And in doing so, selflessly, without having expectations, I get multifold blessings. Blessings are a great source of wealth, a great source of fortune, a great source of well-being. So giving, giving, giving. First, I create heaven. Next, I give. Next, I cooperate. So there are so many ways I can continue to be happy, even though I live in a peaceless world, in a non-cooperative world, in a negative world. But the peace within the heart, the peace within the self, the love within the self, and the gratitude within the self will never die. The flame of love, gratitude, and peace will become bigger, brighter, not smaller or weaker due to the storms outside. Let the storms be outside, but inside the soul, there is peace, there is heaven. We can do that. Yeah? Now, let me tell you a short story. This story is from India, and this is about a little girl. Her name was Aveyar. What was her name? Aveyar. This little girl, Aveyar, she lost her parents, both mother, father, at a very young age, and she was brought up by an old poor sage, a poor sage. So Aveyar, this little girl, she was brought up by a sage in a small village. As Aveyar, the little girl, began to grow up in the village, she was so happy to play in the village. She was so happy to be in the forest, to be with the trees, to be with the land, to play with the birds, and to swim in the river. She was a very beautiful little girl. But as she grew up to be a young woman, she became really very, very beautiful. So much so that the king of the land, when his eyes fell upon Aveyar, he told the sage, I want to marry this girl, Aveyar. And so the sage, he couldn't do anything. The king was telling him, the king was ordering him that he would like to marry Aveyar. And so he called Aveyar and he said, you know, it is time now for you to get married. You must also become like everyone else, get married, have a husband, have children, and you're so fortunate. The king himself wants to marry you. So, my dear daughter, please get ready. But Aveyar had other plans. She didn't want to get married. She didn't want to go to the country, to the town, city. She didn't want to be a rich person. She was very happy in the village. And she used to pray to God. And she used to tell God, God, never, ever separate me from you. So this was her daily prayer. Never, ever separate me from you. And so when this proposal came and this to-be wedding came to her, she quickly ran to the forest and then she started talking to God. She said, God, you know you have been my friend all along. You have been my soulmate all along. I want to be with you. I do not want any separation from you. I love you and I want to be with you and you alone. Look at the people of the world. They've fallen in love with this body, this young body, this beautiful young body, and they want to make me theirs. But I don't want to belong to them. I'm yours and yours only. So today I have one request. Please fulfill that request. And then suddenly she became an old lady. Avayar, the young, beautiful girl, in a second, she became an old lady. So when the king saw that Avayar had changed suddenly from a beautiful young woman to an old lady, definitely that marriage didn't take place. Avayar was so happy to be in the old body, and for the rest of her life, she started singing praise of God, praise of the Almighty, how she could never live without him, how he was her only father, her only mother, her only lover, her only world. And she created many poems, many songs, many love stories. The story of Avayar. You see, such a young girl who could have a grand life in the village, in the city with the king. She could enjoy a great life in the palace, but she knew physical beauty was temporary. There is something else which is permanent, which is long lasting, which is true. Anything that is transient, temporary, is not what we are looking for. We are looking for true peace. And so overnight, Avayar became a grandmother. So this is a true story according to those who believe in it. And there are many songs until today created by Avayar. Songs, poems, and real beautiful verses praising God. The story of Avayar. This is also our story. Our soul, which was young and beautiful, full of zeal and enthusiasm, full of energy and love for the world, full of energy to act and to experience life beautifully. We have passed through that stage. The soul was so full of spirit, so full of life, so full of peace. It enjoyed so many births in the golden age, silver age, also the copper age. But as the soul started using its soul power, what happened to it? It slowly became discharged of its power, soul energy, soul strength, soul peace, soul love. And so today, you and I, we are depleted of many, many virtues, powers, knowledge. This is why we need God to recharge us, to make us whole again. We are full of holes in ourselves, full of diseases in ourselves, full of weaknesses in ourselves, full of falsehood in ourselves. So now that I have come to God, He can make me happy again. So I think happy when I come to the source of happiness, when I come to the ocean of happiness, when I come to the greatest power of all, that power, that beautiful God can rejuvenate me and can make me young again. So think happy. What did we learn so far? Create heaven within the self. Give, give, give. If you work without any expectation, if you work for God, you will get everything multifold. Again, a few tips to be happy. Because sometimes when we are happy and we become careless, that happiness can disappear. That happiness that we have worked for can leave us just in a second. So 3 things to remember always so that my happiness stays with me. Number 1, never reply or talk when you are angry. Never reply or talk when you are angry. Just manage your anger within yourself and change that anger into peace so that your happiness does not diminish. So never talk or reply when you are angry or you are disturbed. Just manage that anger, that disturbance, change it to peace and stay quiet. Tip number 1 to be happy. Tip number 2, never promise anything when you are happy. When you are happy, you become over zealous, over enthusiastic, over the cloud. You're happy. And so you'll say, take, take, take. But after that happiness comes down a little, then there is regret. Oh, I shouldn't have given that. Oh, I shouldn't have given this. So when you are happy, never promise so that there is no regret afterwards and your happiness doesn't diminish. So what did you hear? Never reply when angry. Never promise when you are happy. Promise when you think logically. Promise when you are cool and calm and your senses are within your control. And the third tip, never decide. Never make a decision when you are sad. Because when we are sad, we think that the world has come to an end. We think that there's no hope. We think that there's just hopelessness and we cannot get up. And then we make decisions that make us regret later on. So when you are sad, never decide. Remember, the dark clouds of today, the dark clouds of today will disperse soon. Tomorrow, the sun will shine. Nothing in this world is permanent. It is a changing world. Today, I'm unhappy, but I can see something good coming my way tomorrow. And so I stay silent. I do not decide when I am sad. So, what are the 3 tips? Never reply when angry, never promise when happy, never decide when sad. This will help you to maintain your inner happiness. What is our topic today? Always think happy. What did we hear so far? Create a heaven, give, 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 give selflessly, and remember the 3 tips. When you're angry, don't reply. When happy, don't promise. And when sad, don't decide. Now, the 4th thing to keep us happy. This is very important. Many of us have not realized or understood this important point, to be always happy. When we read extra news, when we take in extra information, when we just look for news and views and opinions of people in the press, in the papers, in the media, and we consume information, remember, consuming information is energy depleting. I repeat, consuming energy, finding out this and that is depleting energy, because information consumes energy. So when I have extra information, extra news, extra knowledge that I don't need, when I have extra of unnecessary information stacked inside my mind, what happens? I become poor in energy. I become poor in energy. My attention span becomes less, because when there is less energy, there is less attention. This is why we are told, don't look for unnecessary news, don't go for unnecessary things, don't listen to unnecessary things, don't go to unnecessary people, listening to unnecessary stories and gossip. Because when I have more information, my attention goes there and my energy level comes down. So a lot of information makes me weak, and I cannot pay attention to myself. I cannot have yoga. The heaven within me becomes weak. I stop giving. I stop sharing. I forget all the tips that I've learned to be happy. So remember one very important thing: information consumes energy, and loss of energy will result in poverty of attention. Poverty of attention. I repeat so that you may write down: information consumes energy, and information will result in energy poverty, and this depletes my attention span. I cannot do yoga. I cannot think of Baba lovingly. I cannot concentrate. My attention level is low because I am overloaded and I'm carrying a basket on my head. So, what must I do? Stop looking for unnecessary news, stories, clips. Okay? Then we can be full of energy, we can pay attention, and we can be happy. Okay? The other thing is, if I am alone, nobody is by my side, I'm not in a group, I'm alone by myself, and I become sad. I become sad in my own company because I'm creating thoughts that are not positive. I'm creating thoughts of yesterday and I'm getting worried. I'm creating thoughts of tomorrow and I'm getting anxious. I'm creating thoughts of things that were not good that happened to me. I'm creating anger. I'm creating thoughts of people who have hurt me and I become hurt. So when I'm alone with myself and I allow my thoughts to go to yesterday, tomorrow, to situations, to people who are or which are not nice, I am creating sorrow, I am creating hurt, and I am not allowing myself to be healed. So definitely, I myself, with myself, am in bad company. Whose bad company? My bad company. Why? Because I am not thinking right. So when I myself am in bad company and I want to be happy, is that possible? Is that possible? Obviously, not possible. So learn to be your own good friend. What happened yesterday has happened. Forget it, put a full stop. What is to happen tomorrow is tomorrow's story, not today's story. Let me concentrate on today's story. If someone has hurt me, that's okay. I am still fine. If a certain circumstance or situation has made me unhappy, that is gone. Today I'm happy. So create thoughts to come out of your negativity, to come out of your past, to come out of your future, to come out of a situation, to come out of a relationship. Create happiness, create thoughts of love, thoughts of giving, thoughts of forgiving, thoughts of forgetting. Be happy, don't worry. We've heard this many times. So if you are in bad company, your company, who can help you? Not even God can help you. So learn to be your own good companion. Stay in your own company with love, with gratitude, with silence, in yoga, in conversation with God, with gratitude, with love. You, your mind, your intellect, your sanskar, You and the soul, you are such good, happy friends. Enjoy your own company. Do not hurt yourself. Avoid all pitfalls and don't get trapped in unnecessary information, and learn to be your own best friend. One more thing about being your best friend, you being your own best friend. Don't mess up your life by saying, my family is like this, my country is like this, my boss is like this, my teachers are like this, my workplace is like this, and therefore I am unhappy, therefore I'm unfortunate, therefore I cannot be happy. No, this is messing up your mind. Our mind starts blaming others, and then it tells itself, naturally I'm unhappy, naturally I'm sad, because they are like that. How can I be happy? This is called messing up, spoiling your mind with false reasoning. Let the boss be anything. Let your family be anything. Let the country be anything. But you yourself, in your own world, in yourself, you are in heaven. Why bring the outside hell into your inside heaven and mess things up, spoil things? So this is a nice tip. Remember, don't mess up your mind. Today, now, you are okay, you are happy, you are grateful, you are peaceful. Be thankful and say, God, I love you. You are the best friend I can have, and I am also my own best friend. Easy, but we make it hard. Easy, but we don't try. Everything that I want is within the self. This is the truth. What is the truth? Everything is within the self. I have a story. This story is about a king who wanted to pick a chief minister in his country. His chief minister passed away, and now he was looking for a new chief minister. So he picked the three greatest, wisest men in his kingdom, three old wise men in his kingdom, and he told the three of them, look here, I'm going to put the three of you inside the room, and I'm going to lock you from outside. What did he do? He put the three wise men inside the room and he locked them from outside. And he said, if you can unlock the lock, if you can come outside, you become my prime minister or chief minister. So these three men were in the room, and the king, as he said, apparently locked the door of the room. So the first man was thinking, the door is locked from outside, I'm inside. How is it possible that I can open the lock? Not possible. So he sat down. The second wise man, he started looking around. Are there any windows? Are there any doors? Is there a gap between the wall and the roof where he can jump out and then go out and unlock the door. Then he found that there was no hole anywhere. There was no way to escape from that room. So he gave up. And the third man, he started thinking, this is a challenge. This is a test. Surely there must be a solution. There is a solution. If there's no solution, the king wouldn't have given the test. So what did he do? He went to the door and he opened it. The door opened. It was not locked. The door was not locked. He opened the door and he became the chief minister or the prime minister. What does this tell us? Even if things around me are negative, even if the people give me lots of test papers, if I keep my cool, I am positive, I am grateful, I am loving, I am peaceful, there is heaven inside me, I can find ways to come out of the situation. And so he said, how is it possible to open from outside? So definitely the door is not locked. Think positive, think happy, think the truth. So these are all stories about us, how we can think happy. One more tip that we can inculcate in our lives to be happy is to drop our burdens and learn to travel light. Of course, when we have burdens, we have to make the burdens light. But as we manage to slowly enlighten our burdens, we should travel light, not carry the burden with us. For example, I have a burden on my head. I carry a big basket on my head, big burden on my head. And so a vehicle comes by, and that lorry driver stops the lorry and he says, you can come and take a lift from me. And I go into the lorry. I still keep that basket on my head, although I'm inside the lorry. I should learn to take that basket and keep it down. But no, I go into the lorry with this basket on my head. So what's the use of getting a ride? I'm still carrying a burden. So what should we do? Drop your burden, travel light, find solutions, and make your burdens light, but don't carry them with you as if they are inseparable from you. When it is time to find a solution to make the burden light, give it time, give it energy, do something. But when it is time to meditate and you still carry that burden, where is there meditation? There is only a burden. So what you have to put aside, what you have to carry, because you are traveling. Travel light, keep the burden aside, attend to it at a later stage. So, tips to be happy. Remember, what all you want, you cannot get. But what you have is already what all you want. I can aspire for the stars, the moon. I cannot get that. I aspire to be a king or a president. I cannot get that. But what I have now is enough for me, is good for me. It makes me happy. So, not all that I want is what I can get, but all that I have is enough for me, is good for me to make me happy. So, no more expectations, no more false dreams, empty desires. What you have is good. What you have will take you forward. What you have will make you progress. Be grateful, move on, leave your burdens aside. So, what must you do to be happy? Fall in love with yourself. Fall in love with yourself. You have such a good body. You're given such a good body. So thankful for it. Fall in love with your thoughts. Fall in love with your words. Fall in love with your actions. Fall in love with whatever you do. And make God your companion. You are already full. One God is your world. Do you need anything else? So become a lover of peace. Become a lover who loves silence, not a social being. You only come into social life when needed, but then you go back into the cave of silence within your mind. So love yourself, love your company, love God, energize yourself. Don't go into extras. What you have is just enough. You have heaven within you. You are a very valuable diamond. You are giving, giving, giving. You are working for the divine. You know tips to make you happy. You don't look for unnecessary information. You are empowering yourself slowly, slowly, and moving away from bad company. You know how to manage your mind. You don't mess up your mind. You are in charge of your mind. You drop the burdens whenever necessary, and you enjoy whatever you have. Think happy, be happy. You are a gem. You are a diamond, always shining, always bright, always light, always beautiful, always young, energized, full of enthusiasm. That is you, aren't you? Thank you. Om Shanti.